friend, an extraordinary friend. She is also a really great rapper. And I've never asked her if she hates the fact that I bring that up every time, but she did this real estate rap song, and I was listening to it, and I was like, this is really good. Like, it had a great beat. And so she's out of the Bay Area, and she will help you know your money and grow your money. And I hope you will stand up and clap loudly for Miss Constance Carter.
Oh my God, thank you all so much. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Boyce Watkins. Thank you, boys. Thank you for including me. Thank you for always supporting me. Thank you for just being a great friend, a brother, a mentor, all the things that you are. So I appreciate you. So thank you so much. Shout out to him for holding this economic summit today. And listen, shout out to y'all. You guys are here on a Saturday morning learning how to build wealth, how to create legacies for your children and your children's children. Like, that's huge. Because most people do not invest in themselves. They don't invest the time, they don't invest the resources, they don't invest anything, and then they expect a return on their investment when they haven't put anything in. So I just want you guys to give yourselves a round of applause for being here on a Saturday morning to create something for your children and your children's children. So just wanted to give you a shout out. So listen, I'm Constance Carter, and I'm gonna talk to you about how to know your money and grow your money, because you don't want to blow your money, because if you blow your money, ain't a damn thing funny. Bars, I'm dropping my. So listen, I want to just tell you, just so you have a little bit, I don't know if you may have seen me, you may not have. I'm on the Fly Nubian Money, I'm on Fly Nubian Queen platform. I've been on here for several years. And so I just want to introduce myself to some of you, right? And so if you've never seen me, I just want to tell you a little something about myself to tell you why I'm qualified to have this conversation with you, okay? So I am a real estate investor. I am a CEO, author, bestseller, and I'm a mom. So I built the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California, Catalyst Real Estate Professionals. So give it up. Had an amazing team, did some amazing work in California. I'm a real estate investor. This was a building I used to own. It was a co-working space, an event venue. We had all kinds of stuff going on. It was pretty cool. Cannabis investor. So I wouldn't show this on the internet. I won't show this on Facebook. I remember I sent these pictures to my dad. He was like, you better get those off Facebook. First of all, Dad, this is a text. I did not send this on Facebook. But I would take pictures of the money, because at that time, you know, with the cannabis, you couldn't put money in the bank. So I would have to go and pick up my money, and then I would like put it in a big bag, and I would go and run, and then I would go in the car, and I would, you know, do selfies and stuff like that. So the cannabis industry has been really good to me. So this right here is something that I've been able to create for my children. So what I've done with this money is it goes into a trust, into a vehicle that generates compound interest, and this is dividends for my children. This is legacy money. And then thank you. I'm a best-selling author, so I got some books back there if you want to purchase some of my books. And I'm a TEDx speaker. Has anybody seen my TEDx? Woo. Oh my God, y'all ain't seen my TEDx? Wow. It's one of the best TEDx's that I've ever seen. It's called Google That Shit. But it was a great TEDx. It had over 440,000 views. Y'all better watch it when you go home. But you saw it? Oh, you heard of it, but you ain't see it. Okay, all right, well listen, that's an assignment for all of you guys to go watch my TEDx. Because really it's called Google That Shit, but it's ways that we can close the wealth gap. And we'll talk a little bit about that in my talk coming up. I'm a wealth activist. So I feel like I am the Harriet Tubman of wealth building. I could have helped thousands and more if y'all knew that y'all was just enslaved. So I'm out here on a mission to help Black people close the wealth gap, really. Because there has been a real problem, but I think we're on the right trajectory. And we're gonna talk about it. But y'all, listen, and I'm a mother. This is Mother's Day. So first of all, let's give it up for all the mothers in the room. Yes, how many mothers we got in the room? Okay. Yes, so all the mothers in the room, happy Mother's Day. Boy, she didn't even say Happy Mother's Day.
I didn't. Oh my God.
Tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Oh, yes. But listen, we're celebrating today. We're celebrating today. So Happy Mother's Day to me. I have all 4 of my kids here. Yo, let me bring my kids up. Now, shout out to boys. Come here and look at they surprised. Come on, guys. Shout out to boys. Because, come on, they didn't know. I was like, be here with Tom. Because, shout out to Dr. Boyce, because we went to dinner a few months ago with him and Dr. Alicia. I brought 2 of my kids, I have 4 children. 2 of them are in college, and one of them graduated. So my daughter graduated from Hampton. My son Warren is at Hampton. My son Kyron is at Jackson State. And my son Camille is actually in high school. And he's HBCU bound, we hope. So I'm going to put them in headlocks. But they're all scholars. They're all Dean's List. They've all been on the Dean's List. My son is an honor student. So they're all really good kids, which I'm super duper proud of. So I just wanted to give Boyce a shout out because he said, now I've been bringing my daughter to conferences with me since she was 14. She goes everywhere. Like, you go back there and buy a book, she know how to sell me better than I do. Like, she is cold with it. But I brought my son to the Power Networking Conference last year, but Boyce was like, are you bringing your son to the ABNC? And I said, you know what, I'm not. He was like, you should bring him. I was like, and it was like a light bulb moment. Why am I not bringing all my kids to these conferences to allow them to be around such greatness, such great people, such brilliant minds? Boyce talked to my kids last night for 5 minutes, and you don't know how impactful that was to these boys right here, because I could tell them this shit all day long. They ain't gonna listen to their mama, but they gonna listen to somebody else who says probably the same things that I've said, but it coming from somebody else is more impactful. So them being in the room, it's made a difference. My daughter's been around all these great scholars like Boyce Watkins and Dr. George Fraser, Les Brown, Lisa Nichols. She knows all these people intimately, but I want my boys to have the same experiences. And so this is the start. They coming everywhere with me if I can help it. So, yeah. So, but this also, the reason why I brought them up is because I want to encourage you all to do the same thing. Bring your children to these things. Bring them to spaces and places where they see Black excellence on display all the time. They need to see this is possible. So thank you guys for being here and showing them Black excellence. And thank you, boys, for just dropping that in my spirit to bring my kids, especially my boys here. But I want to show you something because Boyce doesn't know, well, he knows, but at the time, Boyce had made such an impact on my children. I'm gonna show you guys a video real quick. You guys move out the way. I got a little video I just gave at the last minute. So while we wait, I was married to their dad 132 years. We were high school sweethearts, and I've been single for a few years. So, they my ride or dies. Y'all got it? No, do they got it? Y'all got my video?
They look like they don't have it.
Well, they have it, but can you play it?
It's through you.
Oh, I gotta play it. Oh, shoot, you guys got it on live stream. Well, let me just tell you this. Dang it, I wish I had it. Y'all got my video? Oh, y'all don't got my video. Okay, so let me just tell you, y'all come back over here. So, when my son, my oldest son was 12, I bought him I wanted to show you because I wanted to show you the video of them when they were at that age. It was back in 2016. I bought this Dr. Boyce Watkins stock trading program. Have you guys heard of that? The one for the kids? I bought it for my children. And I said, hey, you guys, I bought this training for you. If you do it, you complete it, I'm gonna give you $1,000 so that you can invest. So my daughter at the time, she's 12, you was what, 16, 17? She was 17, she was rich, so she didn't need to do it. So she was always on TikTok. So the only one who really had the patience and who was old enough to really understand it, because he was 12, he was 10, he was 8. So he did it, he completed it. And he took that $1,000 and he ended up making $8,000 as a result of doing that. This is my son Warren. From Dr. Boyce. I didn't even know Boyce at the time. And then in 2020, he took my $7,000 stock portfolio and made $40,000 in 3 months. Okay? And then he had a group called Stock Tips from Warren. And he had over 200 people in the group that he was teaching stock tips. They were paying him like anywhere between $5 and $20 a month. So he had 200 people in there. So he was making money in stock, and then he was also making money from the group. So my son right here. So give it up for my son, and give it up for Boyce for just the impact that this has had on my children. Now, after he made that money, everybody else was like, well, I want to do it now. It was too late. I wasn't giving out the $1,000 after. I was going to give them all $1,000, but they wanted to do it after the fact. But Warren was, he had the wherewithal to do it. So, and they're all, like I said, really great kids and doing well in college. So I'm so proud of them. So thank you guys. Woo! Happy Mother's Day to me. Listen, so I was gonna have, it was just gonna be my youngest and my oldest, because they're home and my two are in college, and then my oldest son was like, well, y'all gonna go to Miami without me? So we on our way to the airport, the four of us, and then my middle son, who's in California right now for the summer, he was like, well, you ain't bring me. So I got him to take that at the last minute, but this is good because I haven't seen him since Christmas, so this is a great Mother's Day for me. I get to spend time with all four of my babies. Y'all don't even know. Y'all have no idea what this does for me. But they're my why. This is why I do what I do, to create a legacy for my children and my children's children. This is why I get up every day. This is why I live and breathe. I want to show them the possibilities. Again, you guys are all the possibilities manifested of what can happen when you just put a little time and effort into being intentional about your own personal growth. So, you guys, shout out for being here. So listen, this was the premise of my TED Talk. I don't know if you guys know, and you guys have probably heard it. There was an article in Forbes magazine and Prosperity Now that said the median wealth of Black Americans could reach 0 in 2053 if the current trends continued. Now, our white counterparts, their wealth steadily increasing, but our wealth was on a trajectory to decrease. Did you all know that? And of course, does anybody know why we were not building wealth on the same level as everybody else?
Lack of ownership.
Lack of ownership, yeah. Anybody else? Anybody? Lack of unity. Okay, that's good too. Systematic racism, yes. Lack of knowledge, yes. Resources, racism, unity, all of those things are factors. And so we were on the trajectory to be at a 0. And, it wasn't by our own fault. I really don't believe, I believe the narrative and the conversation is changing about who we are as Black people. I know that we didn't get here by ourselves, because you have redlining. You think about this. After the Civil War, y'all, Black people were building wealth all over the country. There were affluent communities all over the country that Black people were thriving in. And every time we took 2 steps forward, what would happen? They would push us 10 steps back. They would bomb it. They would burn it down. We know that the federal government bombed Black Wall Street. It wasn't just the white vigilantes were setting fire. They bombed it. Yes. And so, yes. The areas were flooded. They had urban renewal, which were urban renewal projects where they destroyed Black communities. They had eminent domain, where they put freeways through our communities that were thriving. Think about this. In 1862, there was the Homestead Act of 1862. You know what happened then? They gave 40 million acres of land to white people. We worked hundreds of years in this country for free. We got nothing. But yet after the Civil War, we started getting in positions where we're in the government, we have government positions, we're in Congress. Have you heard of the massacre of Wilmington, North Carolina? Where this was the only coup d'etat that happened in the United States soil. Where Black people were thriving, Black people were in government, and white jealous people came and they killed a lot of the people. They overthrew the government and they replaced them with white people. This happened all throughout the country. So, Wilmington massacre. Yes, in Rosewood in Florida. There were communities all over. So, we can't say, oh, we just ain't got, the unity. That's part of it. But we ain't just materialistic people. We're materialistic. We do well. We like to wear our wealth. But that, by and large, is not the only reason why we're in the position that we're in. Because when we tried to build wealth, they wouldn't leave us alone. And remember during Black Wall Street, 600 businesses burned to the ground, right? When they rebuilt, 300 businesses were erected. Y'all know how Black Wall Street was finally destroyed? Integration. Because when we didn't have to do business with Black people, we stopped. We no longer did business with people who look like us. Then we adopted the narrative that Black people don't do good business. I don't do business with Black people. Y'all ever heard anybody say that?
Yeah.
How many of y'all said that?
Definitely.
Good. Don't admit it. If you did, slap yourself upside the head with that hand you raised. Because we've adopted their negative narrative about us. That's not true. It's not good quality. The white man's ice is colder. That's what we thought. All the boycotts we had eating at them lunch counters, we finally got a seat at the table. We was like, we fought for this shit. Right, salt, pepper, no seasoning, no flavor. But that was what it was. And so we have to start changing the thinking, and that's the reason why I'm so glad that you guys are here today. Where I'm seeing the conversations change with Black people. We're no longer saying that same thing. You know, and listen, I'm glad that the man is in office because now we're starting to see, crystallize what's really been going on, what they've been hiding the last 50 years. Because now we're talking more Black unity. Now we're talking about building more Black wealth. Y'all, they done fucked around and gave us the internet and AI. There is no stopping us now. Game over. What you say? Game over. So our median wealth being a 0 by 2053, y'all, they done fucked around and gave us the internet and AI. The game has changed. Okay? So this is what I said in 2020. Google that shit. So the premise of my TED Talk was that they said that we were going to be a 0 in 2053. My thing was, no, we're not. Because we have too much resilience inside of us. There are ways or things that we can do in order to close the wealth gap. And so we're on the right trajectory. All the things are in alignment for us to supersede the wealth gap. All things are in alignment, y'all. So don't even worry about that. That is a statistic, but it's not a reality. So we on the right track. Y'all being here today, you're on the right track. But let me just tell you something. Each one teach one. Whatever you learn, don't keep it to yourself. I work with Black women, and the reason why I work with Black women is because there's an African proverb that says when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. The reason why is because Black women, and listen, we're all here to learn, but the reason why I say that, and the reason why I've adopted that is because not only are we gonna teach ourselves, we're gonna teach our families, we're gonna teach our community. We're gonna continue the legacy. We're just nurturers that way. So the reality is we're not on the trajectory to be a 0 median wealth. 60% of Black households increased after COVID. Okay, from 2019 to 2020, Black households experienced a 60% increase. Okay. We on the right track, y'all. Don't listen to the naysayers. This was only in CNBC. I Googled this everywhere. Nobody else is reporting this. Black families' net worth has grown more than any other racial group since COVID. Did y'all know that? Okay? So don't listen to the despair that we hear in the media. We are on the right track. Entrepreneurship, listen, Black-owned businesses expanded by 19% in recent years, outpacing overall business growth and reflecting a surge in entrepreneur activity. Specifically Black women. But we doing it, y'all. It's because we are representative of the entire collective. This is us. So do not believe the hype. What Public Enemy say?
Don't believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype. This is the reality. You are the reality. We own the way. We own the way. Now, our economic power, 2025, $2 trillion in spending power. We have we are powerful. If we were a country, we will be the 8th largest country because of our spending power. We have power in our spending. Right ahead of Brazil and Italy. Our spending power outpaces Brazil and Italy. Black people in America. We have power. And you guys know power is money.
Money.
That's where your power is.
Money.
The power ain't in your marching. Power is in your money. I coined the term, the revolution will not be televised, it will be monetized, y'all.
Yeah.
The power is in the money, black people. Here's the problem. What's the problem? We spend outside of our community. We're not doing business with black people. First of all, we're not owning businesses on the pace that we should. Because listen to this. If you go into a black community, only 3% of the businesses are owned by black people in black communities. 3%. If you go into an Arab community, do you see a black-owned business?
No.
If you go into a Jewish community, do you see a black-owned business?
Asian community.
If you go to a Chinese community, do you see a black-owned business?
No.
Well, what about a Mexican community? Do you see black-owned businesses?
No.
But when you go to black communities, who do you see?
Everybody.
Asian, Arab, Hispanic, Jewish, white people, all in black communities. We're not owning businesses at the level that we need to. That's why we need to take that back. We need to start owning our communities. So we have $2 trillion in spending power, and we're not spending it with each other. Not just because we think the white man's ice is colder, but there's not a whole lot of opportunities for us to spend with each other as well. That's why it's important for everybody here to be investors, to become business owners.
Yep.
That's why this is so important. That's my charge to you black people, is we got to get in position to where we're taking our neighborhoods back.
Right.
Now, let's look at these communities. I know you guys have seen this statistic before. Asian community, the dollars, okay, let's go back to Black Wall Street. During Black Wall Street, how long did the dollar circulate before it left the community? 1 year.
Wow.
The dollar circulated 1 year before it left the community. Even the most close-knit communities today, the dollar ain't circulating like that. Now, I listened to a gentleman named Beryl Solomon on YouTube, and he talks about how Jewish people, they are less than 1% of the population, but they have more than 50% of the wealth in this country.
Wow. Yes.
Let me tell you why he said. He said, number one, we practice collective economics. He said, we don't do business with nobody else outside of our community unless we can find anybody in our community who doesn't do what we need to do. We look internal first. Number two, he said, we talk business at the dinner table with our children. We talk to them about becoming business owners. That's what we do. Number three, he said, our what do they call it? Their rabbis, what do they call it? The rabbis.
The rabbis.
And their churches, what are their churches called? Their
Temple.
synagogues. The synagogues and their rabbis serve the community. The community don't serve the rabbi. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down?
Yes.
So the mega churches, where we sowing into the pastor, and the pastor is flying in the private jets, and they have the cars better than everybody else, and the mansions, and they're in the hood, and they're not serving the community. Their synagogues serve them. That's the priority in their community. But that collective economics is everything. That's what we have to start doing. We've got to do business with people who look like us first. Doesn't mean you can't do business with anybody else, but just be intentional about doing business with who look like you.
Be one.
Be one.
Right.
Us first. Look within first. I was looking at the other day, you know the lady who cursed out the little boy, the autistic boy, called him the N-word. And I was looking at the Give Sin Go. She raised what, $1 million? She probably had $1 million now because she said over $1 million because she called the little boy with autism a nigger. And somebody put the scripture down. You know that scripture that says, if any man does not take care of his own, he is worse than an infidel?
Yes.
That was the scripture that they used to support her.
Wow.
If any man doesn't take care of his own, he is worse than an infidel. Now, I use that for deadbeat daddies. If you ain't taking care of your kids, you are worse than an infidel, but they use that in that instance. But that's the truth. If we're not taking care of our own, we are worse than an infidel. We got to look to each other first. Okay? So, Asian community, the dollar lasts 28 days before it leaves the community. In the Jewish community, 19 days it circulates before it leaves the community. In the white community, 17 days before it leaves the community. Hispanic, they even circulate 11 days. What about black people, y'all? 6 hours. 6 hours. Wait, where's Tierra? $2 trillion, and I think we spend 2% with black people. 2% is spent in our community in 6 hours. 2% of $2 trillion, which I think were a couple of $1 million. But imagine if we just spent 10%.
Yeah.
10% with our own people. What that would do for our community. They are intentional about how they're spending their money. Okay? So listen, we have to really look at our economics as a cash flow quadrant. Now, Robert Kiyosaki, you guys heard of Rich Dad Poor Dad? And he has a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. I think this is something that we really need to aspire to. We got to get from being just an employee, and an employee is fine, but we got to get to where we are investors, where our money is working for us, and that we're no longer just working for our money, right? So an employee, y'all know what an employee is? It's somebody who trades their time for money. There is a limit to how much money that you can make. You can only work so many hours and make so much money, and there is a ceiling about how much money you can make.
Yep.
Most of us are employees, or we've at least started out as employees, right? Then there's their investor, where you still, you have to work for your money, but there's no limit to how much money you make. Because as a self-employed person, I would be like a real estate agent. I'm in real estate, an independent doctor. There's so many hours that you can work still, and there's no limit to the amount of money that you can make. But if you don't work, you don't eat. Okay, so that's your solopreneurs. That's your entrepreneurs. We want to get from being that to a business owner, right? And so I do a lot of stuff, but I'll never call myself a serial entrepreneur. That just sounds real schizophrenic. Yeah, I'm a business owner. What did Jay-Z say? I'm not a businessman. I'm a business. Come on. So when you're a business, now you have people that are making your money for you. You want to get in that position where you have people or a process of things that are working for you. You just set something in place, and there are other things, entities, people, processes that are working for you. Everybody should try to get to that point, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with you being a business owner, but you could have some type of business or an evergreen product or something like that where you have money working for you while you're sleeping, okay? And finally, you want to be an investor. We all want to be investors, right?
Yeah.
That's why you're here. You sleepy, brother? That's why we're here. Everybody wants to be an investor. Everybody wants their money to work for them. Why do you want to be an investor? Make money when you sleep. Get that mailbox money, right? Generational wealth. Hello. Freedom. Everybody wants freedom, right? You want to be able to live life on your own terms. You don't want to have to be limited. You don't want that limitation. You just want that money to flow. Arrow last night talked about, y'all, shit, I gotta change my whole life, y'all. Nobody works harder than Constance Carter. I don't want to do that shit no more. He said an hour, 30 minutes on Monday, 30 minutes on Friday. Yeah. I got the game all messed up. Listen, I got some things to learn. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I have not arrived to that place where I can work an hour a week. And that's what we all want to be, right? A place where we can work an hour a week. Yes. So that's the ultimate goal. But here's the thing. There's a way that you can actually, I'm in real estate. I built the largest black-owned real estate firm in California. I'm an investor. I have investment property, own, personal, commercial, Airbnbs. Now, 80% of wealth in this country is generated through real estate. 44, we've increased over the last few years, 44% of black people are homeowners. That's a good thing.
That's good.
Yes. The glass is half full, really. Because you think about this. With redlining, meaning we could not get loans for properties in certain areas. Black people couldn't get it.
Right.
White people were given GI Bills, veterans. They were not giving GI Bills to our people. They went out to war, come back and were getting denied for loans after fighting the war. White people were able to take advantage of GI Bills that gave them housing, that gave them education. They got 43 million acres of land in the Homestead Act. Y'all would think that they would be 90% homeowners.
Right.
They're only 73%, 70%. We're 44%. So black people were resilient. In spite of that,
Always have been.
we're resilient. 44% of us are homeowners. It's good shit, y'all.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Even with, after that, predatory lending, 2008, with the real estate market crash, a great majority of those people who foreclosed were black. Why? Because black people, they put them in worse loans with the same credit profile as white people, but we got bad loans. So we were disproportionately foreclosed on more than anybody else. So this racism is still happening economically. But yet 44% of us are still homeowners. So black people, give yourselves a round of applause for being resilient in spite of that. That's a good thing. So we have to start investing in real estate. And people, please work with people who are going to look out for your best interests. Work with people who are not going to put you in predatory situations. Work with people who look like you. Be like the Jews. Let me tell you something about black people. You know, as you know, out there showing homes, it's so funny how we think, and we got to change our thinking. When I was out showing homes to like black people, I remember showing homes, taking this family, and we were out looking at homes, and this guy said, "Oh, I don't want to live on the street because there's black people over here."
Ooh. A black guy.
He said it to the wrong black power person. I was like, what? And I said, you do realize that when you move in the neighborhood, you're going to be that black person on the street. Like, you think you better than them? He was like, I just don't want to. And that's how some of us have been brainwashed to think. Self-hating Negroes. I can't stand a self-hating Negro. On the same token, when I would go out with Hispanic families, it didn't matter if they was in the hood, deep east side hood, whatever. They was like, I want to be with my people. I don't care how much money they had.
That's right.
They wanted to be in their own community around their own people. They would tell me this. We have to adopt that thinking. We're not only in hoods. I live in one of the wealthiest counties for African Americans in the country. We ain't only in the hoods. We have some nice neighborhoods, we have nice areas, and we just have to be more intentional about wanting to be near us. We don't mean we got to be in the high crime areas, but we could be in communities and be very intentional about being around people who are like us. But real estate is the wealth builder. It's the number one way that we can build wealth. Now, 90% of wealth in this country is passed intergenerationally. So the reason why you see all these people that have a head start is because their parents were able to pass things on to them.
That's right.
My parents came from sharecroppers, and that's a whole different ballgame. That's slavery by another name.
That's it.
We didn't have anything to pass. How many of you guys know who your great-great-great-great-grandparents are?
Great.
That's a blessing. One person in this room knows who our great-great-great-great-grandparents are. That's a blessing. Black people, we don't even know who our great-great-great-great-grandparents are because we're not able to leave a legacy. But will your great-great-great-great-grandchildren know who you are?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because you're going to leave a legacy.
Yes.
So start with real estate. Stock is great. That as well. Diversify your portfolio. One of the reasons why the wealth gap is so wide is because we do invest in real estate. That's a good thing. But black folks are scared to invest in stock. Why? Because we think it's gambling.
Always been told to put it under the mattress.
That we've been told to put it under the mattress. You know, when I used to get that money from the cannabis, I would have it in a safe, right? And it's so funny because when you have your money in the bank, It's the same thing as having it under a mattress. It's the same thing as having it in the safe.
Yeah,
It ain't doing nothing.
It ain't doing nothing.
Because it's what's the interest rate? 0.23%, less than 1%, less than 0.23% of interest that we're getting on our money in the bank, and they're taking your money and they are investing it in vehicles that generate compound interest, and they give you 0.23% interest on your money. So diversify your portfolio. Invest in stock. I have a infinite banking. I put a couple $100,000 in infinite bank where my money is safe from the stock market. It's safe from the, now you know 401k has lost 18% in value this year alone, Q1 2025. And the other day on my podcast I was talking about what my age group, but people were losing real money, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 in their 401k. Now, if you can afford to shield yourself and put it into other vehicles that are not affected by the stock market, like a permanent life insurance policy, that's also a safe place.
Yep.
The thing about infinite banking is I can put money in there, I can take it out, and I'm still generating compound interest on the money that I've taken out.
Can borrow.
What?
It's a game changer. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another way that we need to look at investing. Do you have a question?
It wasn't a question. I was going to say a lot of people, specifically black people, they don't invest in the stock market because we never learned that in school.
We never learned that in
Education,
school.
You
right.
can go. I got a college degree. I didn't learn anything about stocks until I was an adult. So not even the basics.
Yeah.
But they teach you how to be on the assembly line, how to fill out the
Woo!
job application.
Yes,
how to,
resume.
They teach you how to be a worker.
Right. But nothing about investing. So I think that's the main reason. And if you're not taught that in school and you're not learning that at your own kitchen table because your parents weren't taught it, then how do you know?
Yes.
And everything that's foreign is like, okay, well,
Not even gonna touch it.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Right.
So I think we need to learn we need to teach our kids the basics, at least to have a foundation, just so they know, and then they go out and then they do it and they et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. So what that means is now that you guys are learning, are you also teaching?
Yes. Thanks to
Because here's the
internet.
thing. Boom. Dr. Boy's flashcards. I don't want you guys just to come here to be hearers of the word.
Doers.
What?
Doers.
Be doers of the word.
Before you learn about finance, we have to learn about ourselves as well. First, where we are coming from, because like most of African Americans are also of African descent, due to slavery. But we have to learn that we are not coming back from the ship. We are coming back from Africa, where we are kings and queens.
That's
so we
it.
have to know where we're from, and then we're going to talk about finance. Because the Jews, when you talk about the Jews, they know where they're from. For
That's
sure.
right. That's right.
They came here from Ellis Island, but they knew they were Jews. You see, the Chinese, they know they're from China. The Chinese America, they know that they have a country in China. But we tend to believe that because we are American, or Caribbean, French, whatever, we are like them. We will never be like them. But we have to know where we come
That's
from.
right.
Gotta know where we come
That's
from.
right.
Give it up for San Janine. She came all the way from Switzerland, y'all. All the way from Switzerland to be here with us. But that's one of the things, and thank you for saying that. I started this Black History Spotlight on my page in February because of Black History Month, but because they were dismantling, Black history in our schools. But y'all keep it real, they wasn't teaching us the right shit anyway.
Yeah.
They wasn't teaching us Black history. We learned Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, and slavery. Yeah, Harry, that's all we learned. You guys follow me on all my social medias, but go to my Facebook business page at I am Constance Carter. I have Black history for your ass. I got a lot of Black history on there. Things that will blow your mind about the accomplishments that we have made. And she's so right in that if we don't know where we came from, it's hard to figure out where we're going. It's hard to understand our greatness. Because if all we're taught is slavery and that we're not enough and that we are inferior, how are we going to really pick ourselves up so that we believe that we can do great things?
That's by design.
Hello. Oh, come on. That is absolutely by design.
And the main thing is, so when we understand who we are and our identity, we could better understand why we're oppressed. Because if we're not worth anything, they wouldn't even want to come against us to start with. So it's like, okay, we must have something to offer, right? And it's like we rise despite thereof. And even in our ignorance, they still want to be like us. They still want to look like us. So obviously it must be God's on earth.
Boom. Let me tell y'all something. Thank you. Thank you. What's your name?
Melissa.
Come on, Melissa. Let me tell you guys something. You guys know what J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to America was?
Black unity.
Black education.
Negro unity. They were afraid of the Black Messiah. They fear Black unity. And so what did they do as a result of their fear for Black unity and the rise of the Black Messiah? COINTELPRO was birthed. The CIA destroyed the Black community, Black leadership, put drugs in our community, put guns in our community. They no longer had to hang us from trees because we were doing it ourselves. Then they would drop guns and stuff in our neighborhoods. Let's just drop these guns. And they came out of nowhere. Nobody knows where these guns came from so that we can kill each other. Drugs, yes. Rap music now. It's all by design. Think about the powers that be. You know, Tank said, he said in an interview on one of those shows, he said, our violence isn't the threat. Our love is.
That's it.
They're not promoting the things that unify Black people.
No.
They only want to promote the things that destroy us. He said they're putting $25 million in songs that talk about destruction, and they won't give no budget to the songs that talk about love. Psychological warfare. That's why it's important for us to understand what it is that they're doing so that we can change the narrative. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned something a minute ago, and I don't want to miss it. You talked about infinite banking, but you just touched it. Can you go into that a little bit more?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. So it's basically a permanent life insurance policy, like IUL. Yeah, it's basically just, I think Aisha Verzi, she's part of the B1 community, the Black Business School community. I don't do life insurance. I actually have a life insurance agent, but it's permanent life insurance, and you can put your money in a life insurance policy. You can borrow from yourself, put the money back. So now you have two benefits. You have a life benefit and you have a death benefit. So you can pull money from it and borrow from yourself, and you can use it while you're still alive. So it's not just a life insurance policy when you die. You can use it while you're alive. And then when you die, of course, your heirs will get whatever it is minus whatever you have outstanding that's been borrowed against your life insurance policy. Does that make sense? All right. So let me ask you guys a question. What do you think the best investment is? So we talked about real estate, we touched on stock, we touched on infinite banking. We got to diversify our portfolio. So what creates the highest returns? What grows over time? What can't be taken away? What multiplies when we share?
Your knowledge. Knowledge.
What? Who?
Yourself.
You. You are your biggest investment. You are your biggest commodity. Let me tell you something. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in my personal development. I don't know if y'all know I got a PhD.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for a chick with a public high school diploma. Come on. I got a public high school diploma. That's my PhD. However, I did, and that's the reason why. All my kids, like my only regret in life was not going away to an HBCU. So I'm living vicariously through my kids.
Yes.
However, I've invested a lot of money in myself. I've been, when I first started going to conferences, I've been going like maybe since 2007, 2010, something like that. And I remember me and my girls, we started the Power Networking Conference. And we would go, and everybody would think we was rich. We ain't had no money. We would sit at the bar, hopefully somebody would buy us a drink or something. But we started being in rooms like this, surrounding ourselves with millionaires and billionaires, Black people, Black money, wealth people. And they started to pour inside of us. And that's when the trajectory of our businesses changed, just by virtue of the investment that we made in ourselves. So I'm gonna always buy a training. Shoot, did you say you had a training bureau? You have a training? You have a program that we can buy?
I have several.
Okay, bet. I'm always going to invest something in myself so I can learn something, because I know that nobody can take that from me. Stock market could fail, real estate market could drop, but nothing can happen to what is put in here. When I look, my notes are in my phone, and when I look at my phone, I have notes from 2013. That's how long I've had my iCloud. And like sometimes I'll be talking, and I'm just a chick from San Jose. I made some great investments. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I ain't gonna front. Made millions of dollars in investment as well. But it's because of the knowledge that I've been willing to invest in myself. So when I go into my phone, all my notes are in my phone, I be like, how I know this shit? Oh, I've been to a training. Like I know a lot of stuff, random stuff. But just by virtue of me going and getting in rooms and pouring into myself, that is your biggest investment. You. There is something inside of you. There is something inside of you that you have. And I have a book called The Secret to Breaking the Road Code, but there's like just principles. The first thing you have to do is you have to have the belief. You got to believe that you deserve it. Black people, we are the most believing people. We believe in God, Jesus, everything else, right? We believe. We believe that we are fly. We got self-esteem like nobody else. But a lot of times we don't believe that we deserve wealth. We don't believe that we deserve abundance. I talk to people all the time. I remember my brother, when I first got my real estate license, I was like, hey, you want to buy a house? He was like, never thought about it. I thought I was just going to be in an apartment for the rest of my life. A lot of people think that way.
Yes.
They don't believe that they deserve to have anything. I've heard not just him, but several people say that. Imagine. So there are people that need to understand that they deserve it. And if the people in this room believe that you deserve wealth, then you need to be spreading it to other people who are in your family who don't believe that they deserve it. Okay? The R in the Bro Code is being ready to receive it. Being the right person in the right place at the right time. Are we what?
Are we afraid as well?
We're afraid, yeah, because we're afraid of success, we're afraid of failure. There's all kind of fear that we have. She said we're afraid of success, but we ain't afraid of fried chicken. Yeah, we're not afraid. That's true. That's true. A lot of us. So we have to be the right person in the right place at the right time to be ready to receive it. You know, during the foreclosure crisis, I was one of the top real estate brokers. I was selling 300 properties a year, and I was in a position. That's a year. So 2005, 2008, I sold a lot of real estate. In 2009, I filed bankruptcy. I was making over $200,000 a year, almost $250,000 a year, and I had more month than money. They daddy, I would have him go to the nonprofit to get our utilities paid. I wasn't going. But I remember taking my kids to the fair. They don't even know. I couldn't even afford to get them a day pass. I had money coming in, but I had more money going out. I had more month than money. So I'm selling all these properties. The properties that were $300,000 and now were $50,000, and I couldn't even afford it. And so I said I would never be in a position where there's an opportunity presented itself that I wasn't able to take advantage. So when that opportunity for cannabis came up, and somebody called me, and they were like, hey, I got a line on cannabis. I was like, how much of a check do I need to write? I wrote a 6-figure check, and it's paid. So being the right person in the right place at the right time and being ready to receive is extremely important. The O is you gotta be obsessed with your success. Anybody, my daughter's reading it right now. The other day we was on the airplane coming, and she was reading Think and Grow Rich. I love that. I love that for you, baby. And so in the book, there's all these millionaires, and they were talking about how they became successful. And they were obsessed with their success. They were obsessed with what it was they were doing. They eat, sleep, breathe, drink, think. A burning desire. So if you want it bad enough, you gotta be, what Eric Thomas said, you gotta be willing to, you gotta do it as much as you wanna breathe. You gotta be obsessed with your success. So you guys sitting here right now, y'all showing me that you're obsessed, but I wanna see you not just be hearers, but what? Doers. Yes, be obsessed about being doers of the word. The K is knowledgeable, in pouring in yourself, investing in yourself. And then the E is execution. What? Not being hearers of the word, but being what?
Doers.
Being doers of the word. I am an executor. Listen, let me tell you something. Everything I've done, I'm going to tell you this real quick. Everything I've done was not my idea, not ideation. That's not my strength. I coach ladies, and I always have them do this top 5 strengths assessment. I'm not ideation. I am execution. So everything I've done everything, the books, t-shirts. Somebody was like, you should do a book, you should do a t-shirt. And I was like, okay. There's a saying, the idea doesn't belong to he who thinks it, but he who executes it. Gotta be an executor. If there's something, and I make sure that I do it right away. I make sure I execute. I make sure I don't think too hard on it because I can think myself out of some things. Yes. So I just do it. And I don't wait for perfection because done is better than perfect. Yes. If I waited for perfection, it will never happen. And I'm gonna tell you, my shit is not perfect. I'll be out there looking crazy. However, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna get it better. There's a saying, beta now, better later. Just do it and improve on it.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's something inside of you.
Just do it.
So listen, any business owners in here? Anybody got a business? Okay, cool. You guys know what an avatar is? What's your avatar?
Your character.
Superwoman?
An image in the likeness of yourself.
An image in the likeness of yourself? Okay, so there's actually different avatar. An avatar for a business owner is who is your target. That's your target. That is what does your target look like. So I got a divorce, I moved across the country, and I was trying to decide, what is it that I really want to do in this iteration of my life? I built this great company, and I got all these great successes, but it was like, okay, what do I really want to do? What's my passion? And I prayed and I fasted for the last week of December, and I decided to start the Net 7 Collective. And when I did that, I was like, okay, what is my avatar? Who is this person that I want to target? It's a black woman. She does this. She has this amount of money. She's this age. This is what she does. She wants to live life on her own terms. She wants to grow her net worth to over 7 figures. She wants to do all of these things. And I created this, and then I started having the conversation or the language around what that looks like, and I built that. So that's what an avatar is. So if you are a business owner, you need to know who your target market is.
Yeah.
So and be able to properly articulate your value proposition. Do you guys know, you guys are business owners, do you know how to get up and talk about your unique value proposition? Yeah. All right, come here. Who said they do? All right, come on. What your name is, sir? What your name is? Jerome? All right, come up here. All right, so I want you to talk about who you are, just quickly, who you are, why you're different, how you can help them, what you're going to help them achieve as a result of working with you, just real quick. So, like you talk to somebody, you're talking to somebody, and you're asking them, you're telling them who you are, what you do, and why you can help them as a result of working with you. And I want you to tell a little bit about your story. So I want you to start with your powerful person of who you are, why you're qualified to speak to them, and just kind of take them through the journey, but then come back out and ask them for the business.
I was born in the projects, and I've always went to church. I use jokingly, I was born March the 8th, I went to church on March the 9th.
Oh.
But there's something that I found in the church. As now being one that's been ordained to a bishop, I found that we don't teach finances in most churches. I got into finances by accident. And when I got into it, I found so much knowledge that my parents couldn't teach me, but I learned. And that's why I'm still in it today. That's why I'm an investment advisor. Well, I gotta say that, I gotta take that back. I was an investment advisor. In 2008, I lost my license. I had to get it again, it's hard, but I'm getting it again.
Mm-hmm.
And my ideal is to take it to our churches and show what we need to know, how we need to know, and how we can get where we're going.
Give it up for Jerome. So let me just improve upon that, Jerome, okay? So my name is Jerome, and I was born on March 8th. And I will tell you, listen, I've been in church since March 9th. And I was baptized. I was in church every single day. I am churched. I'm fully churched. And I grew up learning about financial literacy. It wasn't really taught in my home, but as I learned over the years, I decided, you know what? This is something that black people really need to learn. This is something that black people have been left out of the conversation. And so I started studying, I ended up getting my license, and then I dedicated my life to going to churches all over the country to teaching Black people how to build wealth. The reason why I chose church is because I can relate to them most. Because the Bible says in Ecclesiastes 11:2 that we should have 8 revenue streams in case a disaster strikes. And I wanted to teach that principle to every single person that's inside the church. Now, who do you know that may be interested in learning financial literacy from someone like me that was born in the projects, that learned and built millions of dollars through financial literacy?
Period.
Right?
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, boom.
Yes, so this is true. So his target are church people. He has a
Yes,
captive
at the
audience
top.
of people that are already in the church. We talk about biblical principles inside the church. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children and children.
Children.
Like all of those things that can relate to people who are in the church. And why I'm passionate about it, because I was born in there, and what I understand is Black people have been left out of building wealth, right? So we cover all of that inside that. So when you understand, thank you, Jerome. Thank you. Your unique value proposition. The reason why a lot of people aren't successful in their businesses is because they don't know how to articulate their unique value proposition. They don't understand how to bring their idea to life. A lot of people have these great ideas. Again, remember, I'm not the ideation person. I'm the executor.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have these brilliant ideas. I admire you guys. I envy y'all. I'm telling you, when I be doing this top 5 strengths and I do it with the ladies in my group, I'm like, damn, I want to be that. I want to be strategic. I'm not. That's not who I am. But I am an executor. And I know how to articulate my value. I know what I need to do in order to teach you and tell you what it is and how I can bring value to you. What are their pain points? What are the things that people need to know and understand? And that's what you need to have as you're telling people about your business. So as you're building your business, you need to tell people, how can I help you? They need to know what's in it for them. Why are you the authority? Why are you the expert? What are their pain points? You got to speak to their pain points. And then how can you add value? And finally, how can you get the business from them? Because people tell you what they do, but they don't ask you how you can work with them. Right. I did that for years. I was putting out information, and I never had a CTA, a call to action. So people didn't know I wanted to work with them, right? And that's a mistake that a lot of people make. Okay. So I'm doing a training. It's called Bring Your Idea to Life. And this is for those people who are the ideation people, because I'm an executor. So if you have an idea, just a simple idea, it don't even have to be anything that you've put together. You could be you could have an experienced business, or you could just have an idea. I'm helping people on May the 24th. It's an all-day session, a 6-hour intensive training, very limited seating. The reason why I have limited seating is because I'm working with you individual in this one day. And this is the 3rd one that I've done, and it's been transformative. Where I've helped people are like, oh, I thought this was just gonna be a lecture. No. We're gonna, like we did him, I'm gonna take you through the journey of how to really bring your idea to life and then how to articulate your unique value proposition. So this is an all-day workshop where I'm helping you. I can only do 20 people, only 20 people, where I'm helping you to bring your idea to life, to go from ideation to manifestation to what? Monetization, because we want to make money. Yep. We ain't in this to not make money. So I just wanted to invite you to the Bring Your Idea to Life. So if you're interested, hit that QR code or go to bringyouridea2life.com. And this is for men and women, okay? Secondly, I want to invite those of you who may be interested in the Net 7 Collective. I do a cohort of Black brilliant women from all. Tiara's part of the Net 7 Collective, yes! But these are Black brilliant women from all over the country. They do all kinds of amazing things: doctors, lawyers, entertainers, producers, Hollywood people. I mean, it's just some of everybody. But they're Black brilliant women. And this is for women, sorry men, but this is for, and this is my passion project. So this is what I'm doing to help Black women to be able to get in a position where they're increasing their net worth by $1 million. This is my contribution to closing the wealth gap also. Because I just want to help Black women, because I love us. I love us. So if you're interested in that, there's a QR code here where you can, Black women, just schedule an appointment with me. And I'd love to have a conversation with you. Ain't no buy right now, or you could talk to me sometime this weekend. But I'd love to have a conversation to see if you would be a good fit for the program. Because again, this is for Black women who are on the move, who are, all over the country, and we're just helping each other and we're pouring into each other, okay? So listen, that is my time, y'all. I sure appreciate all of you for listening and participating. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, really, I do. Come on, Miss Tiara.
Give it up for Constance Carter.
This is my sis right here.
Listen, Constance is like one of my favorite people. And hands down, I don't know anybody else that is as passionate, that cares enough about people. Okay. All right. That cares enough about people. Like, she just got